We are live. A very warm welcome to another episode of Fauza's Diary. If you are looking for something motivating and inspiring, then you have stumbled upon the right show. That's the beauty about my diaries. They inspire us, they encourage us, they motivate us, but also they make us think and see what options are there, especially in this season that we are in. Joining me on this conversation today is my sister friend, Diji Shuhahi. She's joining me all the way from the Philippines.
Hi, Fauza.
Actually, and now she is based in the Philippines. She is the managing partner of Pinnacle Events, host and presenter of Women of Arabia, and coming soon, Women of Asia. And she's also an upcoming author. Wow. Diji, you are wearing
Thank you.
hats. Welcome, sister. I'm so happy to see you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to see you too. It's been almost a year, like we were saying, since we last did our interview. And that time I was interviewing you, which is interesting.
I was on the other side of the chair and I got on that side. It's always the difficult side to be, because you're like, okay, will I get this right? I don't know. Oh, thank you so much. You look so beautiful as always.
Oh, so do you. Thank you so much.
So the reason why I thought let's touch base, I've been curious because you organize events. I've been following your journey. You had the event in the Philippines not long ago, which it looked really spectacular. I wish that I could be there and dress, and just be there. But now we are on a totally different season of our lives, since COVID-19 kicked in. Unexpected. Nobody has expected it. And I am just curious to hear, how are you as managing partner of Pinnacles, as the host and presenter of Women of Arabia and coming soon Women of Asia? How are you managing your businesses in this season that we are in?
Okay, so thank you again, Fauza, for this opportunity. It's been amazing to reconnect with you. We kind of did lose touch with each other because of, life just happened. And yes, as you said, I am based out of Philippines for now. Right now, I'm in Philippines. We arrived, actually, the entire team decided in 2019. So Pinnacle Events, Pinnacle Group of Companies, we are based out of Dubai. As you know, you've been to our office.
Yes.
And we have a branch office in Abu Dhabi. And in 2019, we decided to branch out, really, and go international. And we are three partners. So we've got a Filipino partner and I'm an Indian partner, and we've got an Arab partner. So we decided to have a base in each of these countries. Hence, we decided, let's have an office in India and let's have an office in Philippines as well. So that's how 2019 we decided to branch out and see where life takes us and do our events. And rightfully, as you said, we did the My Right Expo, which happened in. It was spectacular. It was actually spectacular. I've got a couple of I think Shalini is here and she was part of the show. She's joining also from Philippines. So it was amazing. It was one of the largest international exhibitions, expos for modified cars and bikes. It was a competition. It's one of its kind here in Philippines. And Philippines really was very welcoming. It still is very welcoming, but in terms of events, we realized both India, Philippines, even Dubai for that matter, has been very kind to us. And the reason that I decided to stay back even after the event was because we saw a lot of opportunity here in Philippines in terms of events.
Because when we had our conversation, you were gonna be commuting. That's the last text we had. You were to come.
Exactly.
Back. I'm waiting for you.
Yes, we even made a coffee date plans, remember? Like, yes, catch up for sure. But there were lots of opportunities and avenues opening up in Philippines, and we decided, why don't we stay back and see how much more we can probably produce more of these events, because My Right Expo is something we are planning to make it as So My Ride Expo Manila happened. We want to do My Ride Expo in as many cities, as many countries as possible. So that's our vision for the future, because we see that it's amazing opportunity. However, the funny thing is, this event happened exactly after the Tal volcano eruption.
Okay.
So entire Philippines went on a level 4 alert. We had to move our dates, and we were not sure that we could pull it off, because we weren't sure how many people could come, what were the implications, but we did manage that.
Right.
But as it was happening, we did hear about the because the virus eventually, I think it started somewhere in December, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes,
in China.
in December.
Yeah.
In
So
China, yeah.
right. So we were still hearing about it, and we had certain people telling us, oh, we don't know whether crowded places, we want to be part of it, but we pulled it off in between these two large natural, obstacles were there for us, but then we did pull it up. But now we've decided, something like pandemic and the entire world going on a lockdown, we understand overall, like as a company, we had to reevaluate a lot of things, because as you know, I think the latest report, I'm not even sure how accurate the numbers are, but it said that about 7.5 million small businesses are either completely shut down or are on the verge of shutting down.
Yeah.
And large corporates are also shutting down, right? Like we've heard of.
I mean, it's a global issue globally.
Yeah, right. Like Radio Shack, J. Crew, Aldo Shoes. These are some of the names which has been Gold's Gym. I mean, like, I just couldn't understand. But what we need to see is this is the time when we can all dig deeper and have a lot of grit and determination and see what is the next best move for us. Being an events company, it has really, it's not going to be easy in terms of continuing to do events, because obviously large gatherings are absolutely not allowed.
Yeah.
So that's when we've decided as a team to pivot, because we were always interested in not just producing events. So most of the large events that we do are events that we conceptualize and produce. So it's our own ideas that we conceptualize and we produce it. So we do the A to Z of the event.
Okay.
We had a lot of other ideas. Actually, a partner in Dubai, he is the brains behind most of the events. So we've got lots of production and a lot of TV shows, and we are trying to move into TV and production. So right now, as we speak, we have 3 TV shows in our pipeline.
Okay.
We've already started discussing. So when I say 3 TV shows, 2 of them are something we are doing simultaneously in Philippines, in India, and in UAE.
Okay.
And in Philippines, we've already signed up with the largest television network here in Philippines. It's going to be a daily show. So that's one of the, it's a daily game show, which we were very, very sure that this would be something that would be accepted. But given the times now, most of the people are sitting at home, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
they need
to be entertained too. So this is something we thought, why not move ourselves, move our focus. For us, doing events are still where we get our passion and our drive from. But this is also producing things, which is something which we are very much interested in. So we've pivoted and we're moving into television, in the television industry, if I can say that. And we've got 3 television projects in the pipeline right now.
I love
including my show, Women of Asia.
Yes, I will fly to Manila for an interview. No problem.
Please do.
Wow, I mean, I love that you know, because I think the thing is since the pandemic, right? Because it was not expected. Most people, it came as a shock. So you really need to navigate, otherwise you will be scrambling. And then by the time because I really honestly believe that we're not gonna be in this season for the rest of our lives. Sooner or later, we're gonna come out. And it's, for me, I'm learning now, how can I diversify? You know, how else can I serve? How else can I be of service? And I love all those things that you have been putting in place, because we cannot just wait until the last minute. Then they're like, oh my gosh, okay, Corona is gone. Now what? So
No,
yeah,
of course not.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
And
all
even
that.
in terms of
Inspiring.
events, even in terms of events, we would always say that if at all, if and when, for sure, like you said, things are going to open up. If not now, probably in the last quarter. We don't know anything as of now.
Yeah.
But we as a team have always decided, and this is something which we're very particular about, that we need to be ready.
Yeah.
So all our groundwork, everything has to be done. And we should not be one of those companies or one of those organizations who decide that once the virus is over, then we decide, oh, let's sit down, let's see, now it's open, what is the next step?
Yeah, it's too
we
late.
Need to be one of those. Yeah, we need to be one of those who says, it's open today, tomorrow we have something for you. So
yeah.
That's how we are preparing ourselves to be.
I love that. Do you think there will be a big change then when Corona ends?
On a professional level, business level, yes, because like you see, there's quite a lot of companies declaring bankruptcy. But you know what, the thing, I think I read it in Forbes magazine online a few days back, bankruptcy, you should not look at bankruptcy as a death certificate or death sentence, because there are lots of companies who have declared themselves bankrupt. Early 2000s, GM, General Motors, and it's come back to be one of the largest organizations,
Yay.
right? American Airlines. So there are lots of companies who've declared bankruptcy. I think this should be an opportunity where you can renegotiate with probably your debt, your credit with your creditors, and use this as a time when you can probably negotiate your debt terms with, whether it's the banks or anyone who's giving credit at this point, or your investors. So on a business perspective, yes, quite a lot will change. Lots of new companies are going to emerge. Companies who've been stronger, who can really adjust themselves to the situation. People who can adjust themselves to the situation are going to become a bit more stronger and emerge as the leaders now.
Yeah.
There will be a complete change, I believe. Those who were at the top probably might not be once this is over. You might have new blood coming in.
Things are changing now. It's not about who was before. It's about what now.
Yes. Actually, as my partner always says, now the field is even. Now who gets ahead is someone, who gets ahead is someone who can, who's got determination and grit.
Yeah.
But on a personal level, I still feel like after all this, people are going to go back to how they were before. With the new norms, they might wear masks and maybe stand 1 meter away. But I was out today for something and the traffic is back to normal. Everything is back to normal. You still find people just being not very careful about what's happening. So I think it'll go back to normal from a personal level.
Humans forget quickly also. I think we forget quickly.
Right, we do. And we adjust quickly too. That's strange.
Yes, because yesterday also I was on the road and I was like, oh, so many cars. People are back on the roads. I was really, it's quick. So wow, that is really interesting, Diji. But I'm just curious also to know when the season is, because in this difficult season that we are in, do you see that you will have more opportunities, and how do you intend to become the go-to event company, the go-to TV producer, because people, we only know what we are doing, but we don't know what our competitors are doing. So what's your, do you think you will have opportunities?
Yes, we do, because we always believe that opportunities are all around us. And also, I think we also believe a lot in the fact that we create our own opportunities at the end of the day. So in terms of events, like let's just take TV production, for example. Our show that we had proposed with the leading TV network here was a show which we understand, because there are lots of game shows that's happening. Ours is a little different. It's a game show that brings two generations together. So even there, what we've tried to do is we have tweaked a lot in terms of the concept in order to kind of embed the current norm that's there. For example, lots of shootings are not allowed because there'll be lots of people who are involved in a shooting process, right?
Yeah.
So this is a show we are like, okay, we don't have to do with audience right now. We don't have to, if it's a family oriented show, the two teams would be mostly either family members or people who know each other very well, who will be coming together. So we are trying to incorporate the current situation, the current scenario that's there everywhere. And we've really pivoted a lot, and a lot of discussions and going back to the drawing board and trying to understand how we can incorporate ourselves, because we want to make sure that we are there, that people still hear our name. And that's very, very important, that to be still your name and the fact that you're still doing something should be there, and it should create some kind of a brand awareness.
Yeah.
Whether it's your company's name or your project name,
Yeah.
but you have to make sure that you do something. And now most of the things are happening online. People are mostly online, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So continue to sort of push your name through.
Acceleration.
Exactly, and see how people can still hear about you. They know that you're still there. And in terms of events, the My Ride Expo event, for example, we were planning to do a concert after this, but we decided this is probably not a good time to do a concert, because concert means a large number of people.
Yeah.
So we will still do that, but probably it's not there in our immediate future. Yeah. But instead, the car expo that we did, it's something which it's a competition for modified cars and bikes. At the end of the day, it's cars and bikes that are on. Yeah, it's on display. You can control the amount of people who come into the hall. You can have everything managed. What I'm trying to say is there's a way around everything.
To navigate.
We just have to sit down and focus. And this is a word which you use a lot, focus, right?
Yeah.
We need to focus.
We need to be focused, yeah.
Exactly. So we need to be focused and know exactly what we want to do. And there is always a way to navigate through.
I love that. I really love everything you are saying. So you've mentioned to me that you are looking into, new ideas and new ways. So what's your strategy then when Corona is contained?
We want to continue probably the same things. The TV production is something which we never thought we had these projects in our belt for a long time.
Yeah.
But we were always so focused on the larger events, the large events that we could do. But now probably we finally understood how satisfying that particular instance or that particular part of our life is, and the projects are. So we are trying to our new ideas, everything that we come to will probably incorporate this aspect at the same, along with the large live events. That I can't see you. I lost you.
No, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you've got things in place, and you're getting ready for when the doors are fully open. I love that. You're not just sitting. Girl, you've been busy.
Oh yes. Yes, have been busy. I don't think the lockdown has affected me in terms of, yes, I've not been going out at all.
Yeah.
However,
you're proactive. You're not just waiting. Yeah, I love that. But Diji, I'm curious to hear about leveling up in the time of pandemic. What has taken you into this journey? Tell me about your upcoming book.
Okay, so I'm following your footsteps. You've got this amazing book, and of course, thank you. And probably I will check with you on more details about
the club of authors. It's a club of the 5%.
Yeah, 5% club. Yeah. So the idea behind the book is exactly what I was going through once this whole pandemic happened. Because believe it or not, when I came here, I was really excited to be in this brand new country and see what this country had to offer. Mm. I was supposed to come back and see my kids in UAE, right?
Yeah.
And I think 2 days before I was supposed to come back is when the whole lockdown happened and I couldn't travel.
Okay.
It put me on to be really honest, the first 2 weeks, first 1 week especially, I was depressed because I was all alone here. I felt like absolutely new country, because we had an entire team here and everyone had moved. We were all supposed to take a break for 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, and come back. And everybody went on a break and I got stuck here. And I felt so depressed because I felt like I couldn't see my kids. I didn't know what I was. It was also a lot of other things because we just came out with this huge event. We hadn't slept in months. It was the exhaustion. It was everything that was taking its toll on us, on me. Yeah, it was everything, and it just couldn't. I think I went on to low-key depression, if I can say that.
This whole thing of isolation, it has drained a lot of people. The first 2 weeks I struggled. And
exactly,
because I was planning my woman-to-woman conference. I was going to be traveling in March, but then I had a whole schedule planned up, interview and everything. I had booked the venue and everything. Luckily I had not paid for the venue yet.
Where was it supposed to be? Back
I was
home?
going to host it in Kenya.
Yeah.
And we had people had registered and all that, So I think for me, it was the denial to navigate. And I was like, no, it can't be. So for 2 weeks, honestly, sometimes I'll be walking around in my pajamas. And then I said, why am I being so hard on myself? What can I do? Yeah, this is happening, but it shouldn't control me. So I totally understand what you say. But the good thing is, I'm with my son, so it's different. For you, it's even harder because, you couldn't even travel to see your own children.
No, and I've never been this much of time apart from them. And every time like I said, I was supposed to be here for 2 weeks, go back and come back and forth, right?
Yeah.
And 2 weeks became 2 months, then it became 4 months. And I thought in 4 months I can go back. Then it became 5 months.
Yeah.
And just before I was supposed to travel, this happened. And it just completely, I just felt, I was really depressed. The first 2 weeks, I didn't even know what to do. I felt there was no point in doing anything. In fact, I wasn't eating well. I wasn't sleeping well. I used to sleep the whole day, get up. It was really unhealthy and really bad habits. And one fine day I just got up and I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
We change. We need to make that change in our lives, because otherwise we can blame others. We can blame circumstances. We can blame the pandemic. But at the end of the day, none of these things exactly. At the end of the day, it's us. We have the power exactly within us to change our life.
Yeah.
Whatever way you want. Look at you. I remember listening to your story and I was thinking, oh my God, that girl. I still remember your the bare feet story. The fact that you never had shoes to the girl who can now wear the most expensive shoes if she wants to.
Yeah.
And it's just because of your determination. Otherwise, you would have been, there's so many others in your position at that particular situation, but you managed to turn your life around. It was just you.
I think the choices we make, and also I think what I've learned from personal journey also is that the most thing that really ruins a lot of people, it's the mind, but also the mind. We feel sorry for ourselves. We feel self-pity. Self-pity is a worst enemy for human being. But we don't even realize that. You were on that journey, when this whole thing started. And then suddenly you realize that I cannot live like this anymore.
No.
That journey has inspired you to write Leveling Up. That is beautiful.
How to level up during a pandemic.
Something positive, that it's gonna be something useful for other people. Because what I've realized, the way we deal with our emotions, it's totally different.
Yeah.
We may all be in the same boat, but the way you handle it is different than for me and for other people. So well done. I look forward to reading your book, honestly. Well done. Thank you for joining the 5% of Author Club. And
No, but look, what I would like to say is, like you said, everything is in the mind after all, at the end of the day. How we decide, yes, certain situations, when we actually go into certain situations, the way I deal with it is different from how you go ahead. But the most important thing is to do something about it. I read this quote which said, the first time, come to me with your problem the first time, but second time, don't come to me with the same problem, come to me with a solution. Yeah. There is no point in talking about your problem over and over and over again if you can't at least act on it. Like, it might not be solved, you might still be in that problem for a real long time, but at least you're doing something. And don't think about it as, oh, I need to solve this particular issue. That's something which was my problem, because I used to sit and think, I have a problem, I need to fix it completely. I am gradually learning that it is a journey. There are going to be obstacles, and today, and even if I did 1% today, which would help me solve that problem, it doesn't have to be that the problem is completely solved, but at least if I've done that 1% today, then that's enough. I have to accept that. And the thing which you have beautifully learned is you've learned to finally love yourself. I'm still on that learning curve. I'm still getting there. Yeah. I have to reach that stage where I don't feel like, I've done, even if I did just 1% today, even if I didn't do even 1% today, it's still okay. I still have to reach that stage to love myself. Yeah. But one day probably I'll reach your level where I feel like, it's okay. I mean, it's us. We will get there eventually. Don't be so hard on us.
I've been saying now, we will get there. There is this book that I'm reading, The Battlefield of Mind. The author is talking about, we will get hold of whatever we want to get, little by little.
Right. That's the thing. That's the key, right?
Little, but because I think sometimes we have a lot of expectations about ourselves also. Yeah. And then I want to do this, but then when we do that, we actually put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So we need also to realize that we are humans. Yes, we have 24 hours, but we also need to do this. We need to cook. We need to do. So but I'm very proud of you for the journey that you have taken in, Diji. What would be your advice for other women who they want to tap into entrepreneurship?
I think the number one advice I've received is to just start. Don't think about the right time. Don't think, oh, it's when everything is fine, I'll do it. Or when I have a certain amount of money, I'll do it. Or when I have this particular security, I would do it. Just start. It doesn't have to be the whole thing and go plunge into it completely. Do a little thing today. Even if it means, for example, 1 hour a day to at least just do some kind of reference check or do something online to learn something about what you're planning to do. Even if it's just that, but just start. Don't think I'll do it over the weekend when I have more time, because the right time will never come. The right time is now. So in spite of what you think you should do, even if it is just studying about it or whatever, just start. Just a small step, one step at a time, and you'll finally get there.
I love that, Diji. Thank you so much. We've come to an end of the conversation. You've shared a lot, and I would like to mention the last advice you've given for all those who are watching us, who will be watching us later. Just start. It doesn't need to be 100%. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just start. Do something. So I think the thing that a lot of people, they struggle with is procrastination. Don't procrastinate. If it's that book, start writing. You don't know how, just put your thoughts on a paper. Just put your thoughts on a Word document. That's how you start.
Right. And also there's so many people who look for perfection, like you said, if you want, whether it is to record.
Actually, the key is the enemy to us.
Exactly. That you said it. Absolutely.
Perfection. I used to be so, I was like, if I'm going to do this, it has to be 100%.
Perfect.
But I'm also learning to be, 80% is also okay.
Yeah. Sometimes even 10% is okay. Huh?
I'm learning that 80% is also okay. If
That's because you're a perfectionist.
All my best in it. But I think even 50% is also good.
Exactly. You should get there soon. But yes, you're right. Anything is good.
Thank you so much for joining me, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Thank you to Daddy, Mr. Shuhahi Ibrahim, for taking the time to join us. Ajir, I cannot see you, but I see you there supporting behind the scene. Shalini, Jennifer, and Smita. Thank you so much. Thank you, Diji, and I will see you soon here in Dubai. For sure, you are coming back. The gates are going to be opening. So I look forward to having our long-awaited lunch together.
Yes.
Mwah.
Looking forward.
God bless you, Diji, and I'm looking forward to reading your book. Yay!
Thank you. All right. God bless.
I'm so proud of
Thank you
you
very much.
See you soon.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.